Okay. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, beautiful ladies and perfect gentlemen. Trust our week went well. Trust we have a stress-free week. Trust we are fine. Trust the petrol prices and the inflation are not really shaking our pockets. Okay, I want to welcome you to another session of the Vanguard Africa's village meeting. Like, that it's our thing that we do every Saturday, and we are here for another Saturday. Please, if you can hear me, can you just give me a peace sign in the chat box? So if you can hear me, give me a peace sign in the chat box. So as I was saying, it's one of our thing that we do, and we've over the weeks had our Okay, thank you very much, Zangadna. Our biography series where we've been learning from the life of different magnates and principles that have helped them stay afloat. We are going to continue in that line this week. We're going to be continuing in the biography session. But before we start, I would like us to just use the next 2 minutes to invite all our friends and enemies. Please invite them now. Send them a DM, send them a message because the plan is if we don't get to 50 participants, we're not starting this meeting. So the earlier we start sharing the links, the better for us. Thank you very much, everyone. I'm waiting for us. Yes, Vangatemi, DM your enemies. Yes, even the Bible tells us that should care for our enemies. So DM them, send them the link. You're adding to their life, you're adding great value to their life. Send the links to them. Thank you. Oh, you don't have enemies. Okay, send to your friends, everybody available. Thank you very, very much. Okay, now that's 2 minutes and how many people are here? Wow. Okay, I would allow us to keep inviting while we start the meeting. So I'll be starting the meeting with a very short prayer. Eternal courageous, the King of Kings, Daddy, we thank you for the grace to be here today and help me that it be exalted in Jesus' name. We thank you for your protection over us throughout the week, that we should be exalted in Jesus' name. Daddy, we thank you for the grace to converge us to learn and that we should be exalted in Jesus' name. We thank you for the growth of the Vanguard Africa. We thank you the impact this session will have had in our lives, that we should be exalted in Jesus' name. Daddy, we thank you because greater impact and greater people will be achieved, that we should be exalted in Jesus' name. Daddy, as we've started this session, Daddy, let us have a reason at the end of this session to say we are grateful that we are here in Jesus' name. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Badejo Babatunde. My name is, you can refer to me as Vanguard Babatunde. So, and I'm lucky to be your moderator for today's village meeting. And like I said earlier before the prayer, we're going to be continuing the biography series. So basically, the biography series is just for us to look at people who have distinguished themselves in the society. We should learn from their lives, their mistakes, their achievements, and their principles. We've, over the past few weeks, we've looked at quite a number of people. We've looked at the life of Bala Davis, Elijah Linko, Dangote, Tyler Perry, to mention but a very few. So this week we are looking into the life of someone that is very, very popular. There is no way you would not have seen one of his videos talking about something in romance, talking about something in success, wealth, career development, even fashion. And when you think about this very person is that in every of his session, you will always have a reason to smile or reason to laugh because it will always make you laugh. It will always bring humor to the to his environment. It will bring humor to the room every time he does that. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking into the life of the very special Steve Harvey. I know you must have seen his tweet, and I can imagine the looks on our faces. So we're going to be looking into the life of Steve Harvey today, and the plan is that find that Deborah is going to be looking into the early life and background of Steve Harvey. My very humble self will be looking into the principles and lessons we can take from his career, and Bangladesh so I will be taking the talk or news of the week. So let's start with Bangladesh Sola. Bangladesh Sola, are you ready to take the talk of the week or news of the week?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, ma, you have the floor now, ma'am.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Please, I would like to know if everyone can hear me. So please, if you can hear me, can you please signify in the chat box so I can know that everyone is hearing me? Please, I'm waiting for us, at least one or two people to signify so I can know everyone is hearing me clearly. Okay, so, okay, thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adin Selalu. I'll be taking this news. And basically, when I was like trying to get something to talk about, oh, sorry, when I was trying to get something to talk about, I was wondering what I could like basically just speak and talk about as the news for the week. And it happened, it happened that one of my senior colleagues in school, he sent me a video of something that happened at a meeting in the Senate. So the news for this week, I just chose it as I feel like that's something that has happened in less than a week, and I also watched the news about it on Arise TV. Oh, sorry. I also watched the news about it on Arise TV, and it was something that caught my attention. So before that had happened, the president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he once made a statement, and a phrase that was like taken out of the statement he made was "let's be public." I believe most of us, if not all of us, we should be familiar with it. And this statement, like Nigerians, most Nigerians, they actually took it as a joke. There have been a lot of videos about it on TikTok where people joke about the statement and all of that. And concerning the news for this week, how that is pertaining to the news for this week is the fact that during the plenary at the Senate, the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, while he was making a statement, he also referred to the phrase made by the president of Nigeria, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he said he made the statement led the public and he smiled at it. While the people present in the house, they also like reacted to it in the same way. And this has brought a lot of criticism and there has been scrutiny as regards the statement made by the president of the Senate. Most Nigerians they do not take this funny as they believe that if at all this statement is being made by anyone who happens to be a citizen of this country, it should not be coming from the president of the Senate, as we expect more and better things from such a figure. So pertaining to that, the president of the Senate, Godwin Akpabio, he made a reply, and a support group, a legislative support group, made a reply as regards the criticism that Nigerians are shown as the statement made by the president of the Senate. And in reply to the criticism, the support group for the legislative body, they mentioned that the president of the Senate, that is Godwin Akpabio, he wouldn't make a statement that will try to us as Nigerian citizens. He wouldn't benefit to us as he was elected to that position for a purpose of which he's expected to fulfill and which he knows he's expected to fulfill. Many people are, they do not take the statement funny and all of that. And also in reply to the reaction, the support group for the legislative body, they stated that the president of the Senate, Godwin Akpabio, he made the statement just so that he could not entertain a motion for an increase in electricity tariff. That he believes that if people are going through enough challenges as citizens of Nigeria, and the economy activity is not as much as it should be, more should not be done to put pressure on the people, as they believe everything that should be done for the betterment of the people and Nigeria as a whole. So the news flash for this week is just trying to inform us about the fact that they are doing a body of criticism against the president of the Senate through a statement he made during the plenary. And in reaction to this criticism, the president of the Senate and a legislative support body, they rose up and they made a reply as to just to clarify the fact that the president of the Senate, Godwin Akpabio, meant no harm by adopting the phrase which emanated from the president of Nigeria, that is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He had no intention of causing any harm to us as Nigerian citizens. All he wanted to do was to not entertain the motion for an increase or a rise in the electricity tariff, as he believes that Nigerians are going through a lot. And in addition to that, a statement was also made that under his administration, he will make sure every member of the Senate, they work really hard and they work really well to the betterment of the country as they are expected to do. So that is basically what the news flash for the issue. Thank you for listening.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I heard the statement, Bangladesh and Salah, but from the scenarios you painted, I think the statement is let the poor brave.
Yes.
Am I right, ma'am?
Yes,
Don't suffocate them.
Yes.
Yeah, I thank you very much for that, ma'am. Thank you very much. I think the Senate president didn't mean evil when he made that statement, when he repeated that statement. But I think the reaction of the Senate, of members of the Senate to that statement, was more like sounded like a mockery of the current situation of the average citizen. And now the price, the hike in fuel price and everything has caused everybody to be has caused most people to be extra angry. So everybody just wants to push out their anger on everybody. So I understand the scenario. Thank you very, very much, Bangadaderi Sola. Now we'll be walking into the early life and background of Steve Harvey, Vanguard, Deborah. We've been waiting for you. We want to hear the early life and career and the background of this wonderful person so well. So if you're on the score, you have the floor, ma'am.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nojim Deborah Oluwapolumi. Can you hear me, please? Or can anyone signify if you can hear me?
Very well, loud and clear, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much. So my name is Nojim Deborah, and I'll be talking about the early life and background of Steve Harvey. Now, his full name is actually Bodwick Stephen Harry, and he was born on January 17, 1957, West Virginia, Virginia, USA. Now, he was born to the parent of Jesse Harry, who was a coal miner, and Eloise Vera. I think from this scenario, we can understand that he was not born into a rich family. So we should be prepared to hear about his struggles and everything. And I'm sure we are ready to learn more about him. Now let's talk. He's a Christian, and obviously to us, Steve Harvey is someone we've seen on mostly TikTok. We've seen on maybe Instagram, reels, TikTok. People asking him about his life. People basically asking him, let them please tell us about. I'm in a relationship. I need an advice, or is family feud and everything. We've seen him a lot, especially on TikTok and Instagram. But this is like the time to know that it's not just that big. There were scenarios actually played underground before he became because before we can like before this current Steve Harvey. Now he let's talk about this educational background, right? His high school, he went to Gleeview High School in 1957, 1974, and then after that he went to Kent State University and West Virginia University, where he did not graduate. So that is another thing that this popular person who is an household item, who is is known to be a television host, is an actor, is a musician, is a musician,
Okay, everyone. Can we all hear Vanguard Deborah, or it's just me that cannot hear you? Please, if you can also hear, let me have the comments in the comment section in the chat box. Please let me have a comment in the chat box. Okay. Okay. Appears I'm not the only one that can hear her. Okay, Vanguard Deborah, if you are still on this call, we cannot hear you clearly. We cannot hear you at all. Let me just say we cannot hear you at all. You can still on this call. Okay, maybe I'll just continue on her behalf. Like she started, Steve Harvey was born as Bendrick Stephen Harvey on January 17, 1957, and so he already explained to us after um after how he attended Glenville High School in 1974. And shortly after his high school, he was lucky to get admitted into the Kent State University and the West Virginia University. And unfortunately for him, he never graduated. When we talked about overcoming his early life and his early life challenges and problems, Steve Harvey usually talked about one of his biggest regrets as not graduating from the university. Although he later got a honorary doctorate degree from Kent State University, I think, but then it's something that anytime he expresses it is actually pain. And one thing I actually want us to take from this point is that regardless of how successful we are currently without education, there will always be a vacuum for education to fill. I know there has always been this myth that is going around that school is scam, school is this. But the reality is, if someone like Steve Harvey, with all his millions, with all his riches, influence, connections, networks, and every other thing, endorsement and all, can regret not going to school, and is in a working country, I don't see a reason why someone in Nigeria who does not even have 10% of what Steve Harvey has to open his mouth and say school and scam. The situation currently in Nigeria may not give so many advantages to people who are actually graduates. But the reality is that whether today or tomorrow, opportunities may come, and it will not be very easy for you to go back to school. Let's say you get an opportunity to come and become maybe an ambassador. You cannot tell the presidency that, Your Excellency, wait for me. Let me just quickly go and graduate, and I'll come back and pick up my portfolio. It's once it's gone, it's gone. So it's better we acquire this education. And for those who are not very fortunate to get university education, looking into the life of Steve Harvey, one thing I just feel everybody should actually understand is it is not over. Like education, not getting education is actually not the end of you. It's not the end of life. It's not going to be a route to your entire damnation. So pick up yourself, pick up the pieces you have left and put yourself together like Steve Harvey did. There are a lot of things we can actually go into. So right about now, I'll be looking into the career of Steve Harvey. Now, the career of Steve Harvey is quite wide, it's quite big for me to look into. And if I'm going to actually look at it chronologically, maybe I'm going to spend the next 2 hours here still discussing about things. But it saves so much of our time. I've been able to come up with bullet points, lessons to learn from his career. So the first thing I'm actually going to be talking about, I'm going to be walking through my presentation, my notes. The first lesson I want us to learn from the life of Steve Harvey is that just be you. If you can hear me very well, just help me type "be you" in the comment section. Just be you. One thing you would notice about Steve Harvey is that he has a unique trademark for his person, and that is the humor he carries around. There is a very big bag of humor wherever Steve Harvey is. If Steve Harvey is not making you smile, making you grin because of what he's saying or what he's doing, his special expression to your answers will always make you, will just cause people to smile, to draw the beautiful bracket on their faces. And that's one thing that actually distinguishes him from a lot of people. Even when he's in formal events, very corporate events, there's still a way will make people smile. So, and I think that's him being himself, not trying to be someone else. Yeah, I understand that we can actually have a place of we can actually have mentorships and we cannot actually have mentors. Yes, we can be mentorship and mentors, and you want to be like, I want to be like this person so much. I want to be like this person so much. But there is still a very, very unique trait that only you carries around, and it's very advantageous if you actually exhibit that trait, so that whenever they say, Vanguard Muiwa is going to come and host a session, we just know that we're going to be listening to beautiful music from Vanguard Muiwa. He's going to always sing before he starts his presentation, and the songs are, his voice is second to the angels. When we know we are going to be having someone like Vanguard Noah, we know he's going to be giving us a bit of break. But if he's going to host the session, he's going to put off all the lights in the event hall, and he's going to come in like Michael Jackson, and that those are unique traits that okay, this is this person, and this unique trait is what we've seen in lives of different people apart from Steve Harvey. Personally, for me, when I look at Destiny Ogedegbe is someone I actually like so much. But when I look at him, what I actually enjoy so much about reading or listening to him is that he has this habit of as well as it doesn't use so much grammar. It's not even verbal at all. So he has this habit of using very relatable scenarios, very relatable scenarios to actually explain his thoughts, and you are going to comprehend in a very quick time. That is it, just be you. Then the next thing I want to talk about is dress well and want to be addressed. For the guys here that wear suits, I don't know if I know you must, as a guy that wears suits, you must have seen this video where Sibavi was explaining how you can make 75 suits out of 5 suits. Okay, 5 suits of different colors. We have black, we have gray, we have tan, we have brown, and we have navy blue. Then 2 shirts, two white shirts, 2 cream color shirts, and 2 navy blue shirts. And he explained that every of those shirts goes with every of those pant trouser, suit trouser goes with every of those suit jacket. So by mixing those clothes together, you're going to have 75 suits out of those 5 pieces. I was just surprised that where did this man get his dress sense from? So imagine out of 5 suits, you have 75 suits. With 6 shirts, you have 75 suits. That means if you are going to be going to work every day for at least 3 months, if you choose to wear suit, you still have like clothes. You won't repeat your patterns because there are like 20 to 21 working days in a month. So you won't have to repeat your patterns. And another thing is Steve Harvey, he transitioned from going dressing very flashy, wearing very flashy suits and very baggy dressings to well-tailored suit and smart suit. And he said he got that idea from his wife, who told him that that's majority of it, that if you actually want to be seen as a serious businessman and not as a comedian, you need to actually start dressing like a serious businessman. And that's actually one thing that has actually stood out for him over the time. I don't know why you will not love Steve Harvey's dressing. You always have a reason to love his dressing, and that is why he has gotten a lot of endorsement deals from different organizations because he keeps the way he presents himself is like a serious-minded businessman. Notwithstanding that, he always carries around a bag of humor. And one thing I've actually noticed over time is that the dress sense is something that does not leave our memory very quickly. If you know someone who dresses very, very well and you stop seeing them for a long time, the next time you're going to see them, if they're not well dressed, you will feel there's a problem. And that's one beautiful thing. Personally, for me now, there are some people that when I hear their names, what comes to my head is their dress sense. Someone like Temi Kupola. If I hear Temi Kupola, yes, I'm going to imagine her in a suit. Like she's always wearing smart suits, 2 pieces, 2 pieces, trouser and jacket, and she always dresses very well, and that actually stands out for me. So we need to dress well and dress how we want to be addressed. We should not. I'm going to be a captain of industry very soon. I should not be dressing like one Yahoo boy that just got 1.5 money that I didn't work for. It doesn't work that way. I should actually dress like what I want to be, what I want to become, or what I want to be addressed with. Even if I've not even entered that reality, people will start seeing me as that person and they will trust me enough to give me things that can actually take me into that reality. I don't see the presidency or a governor giving a contract to someone that is constantly wearing crazy jean and dreadlock. Yes, I know you would say wrong profiling, but then that is one of the best ways to live life. You cannot be logical about everything. We need to actually just assume. So dress well and how you want to be addressed. Then the next thing I want to talk about is starting small. I was lucky. I was privileged to actually host the biography session for Alaja Aliko Dangote, and I actually explained how he started small from a trading company to growing to be the richest man in Africa, having one of the largest businesses in Africa. And I explained how well he started very small. And this thing actually applies in the life of Steve Harvey. When Steve Harvey started his comedy career that actually brought him to limelight, he started so small that he was having gigs where he was having gigs around the 1980s. So there are some gigs that do not get him hotel rooms. There are some gigs that they are not so big to get afford the hotel rooms. But because he knew, okay, let me just, this is what I love doing. Let me just keep doing it. Yes, it's small. This is not where I want to be, but let me just keep giving my energy to it. Let me just be intentional about it. Steve Harvey would would go for a stand-up comedy. There will be no hotel provision, and we'll sleep in his Ford, in his Ford 1976. He will wake up early in the morning to go and have his bath at the gas station, and or sometimes he will use the shower at swimming pools, public swimming pools. And this man at the same time was working as a carpet cleaner. He could have just settled for less and say, okay, at this point, let me just continue to be a carpet cleaner. At least there's no stress. I'll just clean carpet, and I will go. But he actually knew where he wanted to be at. This thing, I actually love it. Regardless of me starting in a way that I'm not proud of, I would keep giving my energy to it. So I want to encourage all of us. Don't start small. It's fair that we actually start small, because I said it when I was talking about when I was speaking through the life of Elijah, through the life of Elijah Nkuda, that the mistake we actually make with 2,000 naira, would learn from it and not make it with 20,000 naira. And the mistake we make with 20,000 naira, we learn from it and not make it with 200,000 naira. And the make we learn that way, that way, that way. For example, personally for me now, I was trying to launch an investment, buy into a bond. So I saw 24% interest profit over a duration of a year. So I didn't consider the fact that the higher the profit, the higher the risk. That's how investment works. 24% over a year, where almost every other investment will be giving you 6, 9, 11%, but you're seeing 24%. So I just put my money into it. This is it. We are going into it. Then I checked my money some days later, and the money has gone down. But the thing is, I'm not feeling so much pain because I started so little. Imagine I've saved up a lot of money and I've put it into it. By now, maybe I would even be hosting this session. I did it with just 5,000 naira. I bought the bond on a particular trading app, a particular fintech app. I don't want to give free out to for just 5,000 naira. And when I checked, I think my money was 4,006 or 4,007. And I know that I can actually get worse. If I can go that worse in 2 days, I should expect something beautiful. So it's fair that we start small. Your career starts small. You have just one child that you're going to the conference. Just start small to that workshop. You have one shirt. Just start small, because it's very good that we look into where we are going. Yes, I have just one shirt. I want to that I've repeated for almost all conferences to acquire knowledge on almost all seminars. But that is not where we are going to be in 20 years. So we should look, while starting small, we should look into the future, that the future is actually the goal. Am I going to remain like this with one shirt and one trouser, with checking around to attend seminars, checking around to pitch my ideas to people in the next 10, 20 years? The answer is no. You're not going to remain that way if you keep putting that energy. So let us start small, not be scared to start small. Then another thing I'll be talking about now in the life of Steve Harvey is diversification. Most times when we actually talk about diversification, I don't know if I'm still on this call, because network can be funny. If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section. So if you're talking about diversification, most of the times, what actually comes to our mind is that portfolio, wallet. That's the thing that comes. I have crypto. Now that I have crypto, I have Bitcoin. I should buy Ethereum. I should buy BNB. I should buy this one. Okay, I've invested in a Sukuk bond. I've invested in Carrywise. I've invested in Piggyvest. Let me now face Kuda. Yes, that's diversification when it comes to finance, and it actually applies when it comes to business too. I explained it when I was talking about the life of Elijah Lingodango some weeks ago. How he actually started from a trading company, joined the cement sales and packaging, then joined cement manufacturing, till we got to Dangote refinery. Even the refinery as a whole is still diversified because some part of the refinery they are just focusing on is just focusing on petrol refining. Another is focusing on I think fertilizer refinery. I think another one is focusing on plastic. I'm not sure. So we should actually diversify. And the impact of diversification is that if one part of what you are into is pulling you down, there's another part that is still holding you strong. So let's say the price of flour falls all over the world. Like flour becomes, let's say, 1 kilo of flour becomes 10 naira. Dangote is not going to go bankrupt because flour has gone down. Because it still has oil, it still has sugar, it still has cement to actually pick him up. Now let's look into the life of Steve Harvey and see how he has diversified. Um, Steve Harvey started his career. He started his life as a boxer, as an insurance salesman, as a carpet cleaner, as a stand-up comedian. So he was juggling like 4 jobs at the start of his career. Later, he focused on comedy. As he was working as he was doing the stand-up comedy, he saw that there was actually a need to diversify. He joined acting, okay, from acting, studio production, directing. So he was able to diversify. Like, okay, if there's a gig, if a gig is not coming in here, a gig will be coming on there. Even after retirement from stand-up comedy, he now has an event planning company. So if he's not selling out a show, he's going to be making money from his book. If he's not selling out a conference, he's going to be making money from a book. If he's not doing that, he's hosting Miss Universe. If he's not hosting Miss Universe, he's just making money everywhere. He just has he has multiple characters. He has multiple talents, multiple things. He's doing multiple things at the same time. So it is very, very impossible that before. Yes, thank you very much. He hosts Family Feud, and he does it for the celebrity part too. And I think currently he's working on bringing it to Africa. So Silavi is just one person that you can never hear that it goes down. God forbid. It's almost impossible. Not to brag, but almost impossible because he has shaped his life in ways that you will always need a part of him. A part of him will always be needed anyway, anyhow, anytime. So the next thing I want to talk about now is remain humble. Okay, let me talk about share knowledge with others. Most of the TikTok videos and Instagram videos, I would say, it's actually Steve sharing knowledge, sharing what he knows, trying to explain the application to people. You see people asking that, okay, I have a boyfriend, we've been dating for 4 months, and this. What do you think? And he's going to tell you straight up, run, no, okay, straight up, this kind of person, give him a chance, stuff like that. Even to dressing, he spoke about the suits that I mentioned earlier, and even female makeup. He tries to share the little knowledge he has acquired through his wife to people so that they will actually learn from him. And that's one of the things that actually keeps him afloat. Most of the videos that puts Steve Harvey in our faces is through knowledge that he shares with people. Through yes, they can be very funny at times. They can make us laugh, but the core of those videos are that he's sharing knowledge, he's explaining something, he's answering a question, and I would actually encourage us to try and share knowledge with people. Just share your knowledge. You know how to do one thing, another person doesn't know how to do anything. It may even be in the process of you sharing, you explaining, you teaching that you will learn that, okay, this particular way is actually hold, or there's another better way of doing things now. So I want to encourage us to share the knowledge we've acquired over time with people. We should see how it can apply. We are experts in different areas. For example, now, thanks to Vanguard Noah, a lot of us will know God better. Thanks to Vanguard Kwemi, a lot of us will know how to read the Bible better. So they've shared their knowledge, and I actually encourage you to do that. So another thing I want to talk about is remain humble. No matter how big we are, we should actually find it in our heart. Like it should be a deliberate act to remain humble. It should not be a subconscious one. It should be deliberate that I personally, I want to remain humble. There have been quite a number of times that Steve Harvey has actually, as a comedian, he has made jokes that people took to extreme, like that. They just interpreted the jokes out of context. And Steve Harvey will come and apologize. There was a particular time he made a joke about the Asian people, and he said something like, "Was asking someone that, do you like Asian men?" And he responded that, "I don't even like Chinese food." So like that. So the Asian community, the Asian American community, they took it up. They said it was insulting. Yes, he was just giving comedy. He was just trying to entertain his audience. He was just playing around with words. But if you he apologized multiple times, and that's something that stands. He doesn't apologize once and lock up. Like a lot of us say, "We are today." A lot of us say, "I don't beg him." I know, I don't apologize. He would apologize in a way that even if you do not accept, it's you that it's your own calamity at that point. Would apologize formally. He will use his social media pages, his social media and handles to apologize to people, to tell them that, oh, that's not the intention, that's not the message I am trying to convey. You guys are very important to me, but I'm so sorry. I didn't even think it to this to this way before saying this saying it out. Another very good scenario of his humility was when he hosted the Miss Universe. I think that was, don't let me speculate the date. So he hosted Miss Universe at a particular time. So he called the runner up as the winner, and he called the winner as the runner up. So upon second examination of the result again, he now realized he has made a mistake. So he had to, you know how embarrassing that can be, taking a crown from someone's head and having to put it on someone else's head. And so it was a very messy one. And he apologized on the stage. He apologized after the show to that particular to the persons involved. He apologized on the social media, and the following year he told them, I think that was in Israel, that he wants to host the next Miss Universe so that he can still apologize um to the people he offended the last time. And that actually that stood out for me, that if someone can, after 365 days, still want to apologize, it shows that he's very, very much humble. And personally, for me, I feel everybody should be very humble. You should be very humble. The fact that there are people that are better than you at anything, the only reason why you should not be humble, the only reason why you should not say sorry is that there is no one better than you. You are the best in the world. If you are the best in the world, then I will understand why you do not say sorry. But if you're actually not the best in the world, if there are people better than you, there are people walking the path you are walking before you, there are people who have walked the path you are walking currently before you and have succeeded, or have failed. Even the fact that they even walk the path is enough. I feel you should actually apologize. You should see reason to be humble. You should see reason to say sorry. You should see reason to give excuses for people. So I want to encourage every one of us to learn how to apologize, to learn how to remain humble. Some of us to say, I am sorry. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. And when I'm saying it's a big thing, there are some people that used to bully the male gender. They will be the wrong persons, and they will still be the one, will still be the one to say we are sorry. What we never did, we don't know. They were the ones that were acting up, but we'll be the ones to apologize. So that was on a lighter mood. So I just want to encourage everybody to remain humble and to learn how to say sorry, learn how to give excuses for people. Then, okay, am I still very audible? Can you still hear me clearly? Okay, Ma, Vanguard Queen, we are very sorry, Ma. We apologize to your gender. I didn't mention any gender. Okay, then another thing I want to talk about is um find a way to apply your gifts and natural talents in every aspect of your business. Yes, in every aspect of your business. The fact that, okay, let me start from here. A few weeks ago, the sector on business law of the Nigerian Bar Association had its conference. And one thing stood out for me. You know, I think I'm very happy for lawyers that they are beginning to correct the narrative that lawyers are sad, gloomy, unhappy people. At that conference, there was there was a section for lawyers got talent. I'm very sure that Adib Vangadiniwa was there that would have won. it was quite surprising that lawyers got talent, the noble profession, milord, everything. So these people they have talent. Wow. So one thing actually I learned from that is that the fact that we are doing one thing or we are doing the other does not mean that we should let our natural talents die. It doesn't mean we should actually let our natural talents die. Personally, for me, I'm thinking that when I set up my own law firm, I'm going to have a kitchen like most law firm does. And sometimes when I'm talking to my client, it will be in the kitchen. The kitchen will have a dining. So because I love cooking so much, so I will be able to win them over with my cooking skills, which is my talent. So I've found a way that I'm going to integrate my own talent into my own law practice. And I think every one of us should actually look for ways to actually um, create a link between our talent and whatever we are doing, whatever you are doing, just put it there. There's always a nexus. Find that nexus, connect it. Now for Steve Harvey, Steve Harvey is hosting a very serious show, like very serious. Everybody in suit and tie and all. You just look at one man and he will say, "Are you happy?" with a look on his face, and he will just ask you, "Are you happy?" The way his mustache is and the way he opens his mouth, everybody will just start laughing. That's it. It's a very serious session, a very serious event, but he has brought his comedy acting to that session. So he always has a way of balancing these things. He has a way of linking everything that he has to do with comedy. He's a brand ambassador from some skincare companies. And when he's talking about the skincare product and he's trying to explain, and he will just look at the camera in a very funny way, and everybody you will just have a reason to laugh. So in everything he does, you always feel the presence of his humor, like his sense of humor. Sorry, you always feel the sense of humor. You always make people smile. You always make people laugh. So as a person that you are, just try and find a way to balance it, to add your talent to whatever you do, because your talent is everything you do. Your talent is something you do effortlessly. And when you actually balance it with your profession, with your business, you are going to be leveraging so much because you'll be so much comfortable doing. I don't see myself, I don't see my legs shaking when I'm talking to my client in the kitchen, when I'm turning plantain and I'm whistling and turning my head. He's just going to be looking at me like, wow, seriously, okay. You know that kind of thing, because I'm going to be very comfortable. It's something I do very much, something I enjoy doing so much. So we should always find a way to balance, to nexus our talent with our businesses and our profession. Then the last thing that I want to mention to us is something that, when I look at the life of Steve Harvey, and I was asking myself that all these great people, did they come together and sit down and plan their lives? But the answer is no, because everybody, they are within different age brackets from different continents. Every of those great people, great person, they have this habit of giving back to the society. Is it talking about Tony Elumelu, the Tony Elumelu Foundation, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, um, 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 Tyler Perry? Just mention their names. They are ready to give back to the society. They are just always willing to give back to the society. And this is actually present in the life of Steve Harvey too. Steve Harvey, he has he's a founder of a foundation, that's the Steve and Marjorie Foundation. And what they actually do in that foundation is that they, once a year, they're going to have a camping session for they're going to have a camp. Sorry, can you still? Okay, they're going to have a camping session for children who are fatherless. Just once a year, they're going to have a camping session for children who are fatherless. They are trying to bring them closer to themselves. I don't even know. Honestly, I do not know the motivation behind that kind of thing, but it's something very unique. It's something I've not read before. That someone wants to have a camping session. It's just maybe to like make these people have fun. Maybe they don't have fathers to provide them with these experiences, and Steve and Marjorie thought of bringing them together and giving that fun to them, even if it's once a year. And Steve Harvey has the foundation has another bit of as done another act of giving scholarships to the students of Kent State University, if I'm not um, yes, mistaken, Kent State University. And one thing is this: a lot of people would say that when I was struggling to go to school, who helped me? A lot of people with bad orientation would say, who helped me? Who was there for me? Or God, I'm not helping anybody. But Tibabe, despite the fact that he dropped out of that same university, Kent State University, he still sees reason to give back to that same university, to give back to people in that same university. He understands that the fact that he has actually been through that process, he has dropped out, does not mean that others too should drop out. He should actually encourage them and help them every way he can. So he gives back to to the university which he never graduated from by giving scholarships to multiple students every year. And Abe also partners with Disney Dreamer Academy, and sorry, he partners with Walt Disney World to have a Disney Dreamer Academy workshop, a yearly workshop for 100 students every year. Please, if you can hear me on this call. Okay, Bangaladibola said that's what they call converting your pain to purpose. Yes, it's converting. He actually converted his pain to purpose. What he has been through. Thank you very much, Bangaladibola, for that. Pangami, I didn't see your message, sir. Thank you very much. Please, if you can hear me very loud and clear, I would like you to unmute your mic and give a round of applause to Steve Harvey. Please, I need you to unmute your mic. If you cannot do that anywhere we are, please unmute your mic. I cannot hear clap, so Abi, I'm not on this call again. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, we can meet our mics. Now, I want to say a very big thank you to the leadership of the Vanguard Africa. And I'm thanking you on behalf of every life we've been touching with this biography session, because I went through my notes and I don't want to talk about my notes, but this biography session has been on for over a month, and we've been giving, the organization has been giving so much value to everyone that has been anticipating the next session. What are we going to talk about? Who is coming in? And I want to say thank you to the Vanguard Africa. Thank you very, very much. So not to waste our time, we've come to the end of today's session. And I want to say thank you very much for everyone who has been here. Further, I would want to recite the mantra of the Vanguard Africa. And the mantra of the Vanguard Africa is a kind of declaration of our present and our future reality. We believe that the more we say it, the more we actualize it in our lives, and the more it becomes evident. So I don't know if Vanguard Blessing can help me post the mantra of the Vanguard Africa. Can someone do that for me? So that as I read, you read on your hand and you don't need to on your mic. Has someone done that? Okay. Okay, I've done that myself. You don't need to on your mic, so just read with me. At the Vanguard Africa, we promote transformational leadership in every sphere of influence. Our leaders are well-rounded, adequately built, and exceptionally equipped to excel in every leadership they are entrusted with. We dream upward, invent new strategies, and deploy exemplary wisdom in our affairs. We have more than enough human and capital resources to inspire, build, and equip the next generation of leaders in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Our dreams shall not die, our vision shall not fade, our hope shall not be dashed, our strength shall not wane. With God, we are excellent personalities, leadership models, an organizational catalyst, bringing order into everything we step into. Amen. So I'm so sorry that I didn't allow us to ask questions. Please, if there's anyone that has any question or comment, let's use this 5 minutes to just entertain it. I'm so sorry for not putting that in mind. I was so much in love with what I was to have his life. Please, if there's anyone that has anything they want to share, they want questions they want to ask, please we can go on. Okay. Take that as there are multiple questions that want to be asked at the end of the session. Now, once again, before we end the session, the Vanguard Africa is an organization that is very intentional about the growth of young individuals. The core of the operation of the Vanguard Africa is to make sure that every person will come in contact and to become a leader in every sphere of life they find themselves. They become well-rounded leaders. And we try to achieve this goal by setting up village meetings like this where we learn and we know things. Having master classes, going to secondary schools for boot camp sessions, and even sometimes asking that we read books and having book reviews, having fireside chats. So if you're interested in joining the Vanguard Africa, you can log on to our website at www.thevanguardafrica.org. From there, you can go to the career section and make your application. Sorry about. Thank you very much for joining. Since we started with prayer, it is best practice that we end this session with prayer. Eternal Rock of Ages, King of Kings, Daddy, we thank you for today. We thank you that our network was perfect. We thank you that people listen and their lives are going to be transformed. We thank you that you come back next week and we will see changes in people's life. We thank you that the Vanguard Africa will continue to grow up, to go up. We thank you that our mandate shall not fall and our strength shall not wane. We thank you because you continue to be the captain of the ship. In Jesus' mighty name, we have prayed. Amen. Thank you very much, everyone. And make sure you bring at least one person next week to join us for the village meeting. Thank you.